Welcome, our dear friends. We appreciate you being back with us on Through the Bible with Brother David. And and I appreciate all the subscribers and viewers. We're in the book of Esther. And this is, I think, the third Sunday of August. If not, it's close. But what a wonderful day. No, it's the second Sunday. I'm sorry. But what a wonderful day that this is. This beautiful Sunday morning. I mean, it's so beautiful out. Uh, I could stay out all day and enjoy every bit of it. I really could. But we thank the Lord for His goodness and His mercies upon us today. And it's the day that the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad within it. And my dear friends, I appreciate you who listen and view through the Bible with Brother David. And I know there's other preachers who have commentaries throughout the Bible, but this is mine, and so I hope you will enjoy it. And as well, let me make mention that I always pray for my subscribers and viewers on Saturday, and that God will help you and bless you. And so if you have a more specific prayer request, you can send it to dparker4825@yahoo.com, and I would promise to pray for you if you'd so do. You could send requests to the comment box on the channel, but that's not private. But I have people have done that, and I have prayed for their request. And so I'd count it my honor to pray for you if you so would like prayer. And I pray for you regardless by praying for each of the subscribers and the viewers. Well, my friends, let's look on into the book this morning about verse 15 of Esther chapter 4. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer: Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. Now, don't you know that Queen Esther obviously believes in this fasting and praying? And I tell you, it's hard to defeat somebody that believes in fasting and praying. I mean, it really is. And it's just hard to stop that person. That soul that will fast and pray, seeking the Lord about a matter, my friends, it's hard to stop that person. It's hard for that person to be put down. I'll tell you that. And I mean, when you believe in getting hold of God to the point that you lay aside the joy of eating for a period of time to pray and to seek the Lord, I want you to know you're apt to get your prayers answered when you do that, sincerely. Now remember that when I say that, that just because you fast and pray don't mean that God's absolutely going to give you that. He is sovereign and rules over all the requests that we may make, whether we fast and pray and whether we're not. And we should always remember that. And that we should pray according to His will. Yes, I believe in asking certain things and praying for certain things. Have asked and prayed and have practiced fasting in my Christian life at different times. And some of the things I asked God for, He didn't give it to me. But that's all right. He saw best not to. It didn't make me mad at God. I didn't go and say, well, Lord, I fasted and prayed and you didn't do it. Oh, no. Oh, no. What my attitude. No, but we should always remember that God is sovereign over all that we ask. And He's not going to give us something just because we have fasted and prayed. May I tell you this, as you can see right here, it is a good way to get a prayer answered when you pray and when you fast. But always we should keep in mind who God is and that He is a sovereign being and His will be done regardless of our prayers. And so we should pray accordingly to His will. And obviously, they is praying as they felt according to the will of God, that they perish not. And she says, I want you to fast and pray for me. In other words, I want you to be serious about this. I want you to be fasting and praying. And my dear friends, it'd be a good thing to practice. You say, well, I just cannot fast for 1 or 2 weeks. And well, maybe it'd be good for you to fast for a day or two and to spend that time in prayer versus that time at the table. And perhaps you say, well, my body won't stand that. Well, it will. Or perhaps you're a diabetic. And perhaps that it's not really not safe for you to fast. And I understand that. But you could still create a separate period of time. Perhaps something you usually do, you like doing, and you separate yourself from that for the time of prayer. What about that? But I understand, and I know the Lord understands. There are people who perhaps cannot fast, or perhaps you can, but maybe just lay aside one meal and say, well, I won't eat this meal. I'll just go to the Lord and I'll spend that time in prayer. Well, that'd be all right. And I tell you, if you don't get serious with God, you get serious about praying, and you'll find you'll have some prayers answered. And so I think it's a good thing to do. I think it's a proper thing to do. I think it's a biblical thing to do. And as I've just stated, I know there are probably people who can't. I have a daughter. I doubt she can fast and pray. I know she prays, but she's type 1 diabetic, and I doubt she could miss. She's missed meals, but she couldn't miss many. She'd have to eat. But my friends, I believe there's power in prayer. And I believe when people come together and fast and pray, that prayers are answered when we do that. And food is always a merriment time. And I guarantee it's easy to find a church that's got a supper or some kind of a special meal going on for the people, and people gathering to take part in that. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's easy to find that. But when do you find a church that says, all right, we're all going to forsake supper tomorrow night, and we're just going to meet here at the church and pray through supper time. We're not going to eat. We're going to meet. Instead of eat, we're going to pray. It'd be rare to find that, wouldn't it? Oh, it would be. I know of churches who've practiced fasting and praying like that. Known of individuals who have. Some of them had the power of God upon their lives. And so right here, fasting is not a new thing. We find it right here. The Lord made comments about fasting, how that you shouldn't do that for a show. Let not others know that you're doing it. Well, we should keep that between we and between the Lord. And the Lord that saith as in secret shall reward us openly, we're told. Well, right here, Esther, she's a believer in prayer. She's a believer in fasting while you pray. So this is very serious. Lay aside the food. Lay aside the merriment that goes with it. Now is not a time to rejoice. Now is not a time to drink and to eat and to have get-togethers, except to pray and to seek the face of the Lord. She said, if you'll do that, so I will go unto the king, which is not according to the law, as we've already stated. She's already said, if you go before the king and he doesn't raise the scepter up to me, I will die, I will perish. And she made these great words, and she says, if I perish, I perish. What a lady that Esther turned out to be. What a great lady. Here she is, knowing full well that she goes before the king, and she's already knows he's got a temper. She knows that about him from the previous Queen Vashti. And she knows, if I go before the king, he doesn't raise the golden scepter before me, I'll be put to death. She knows that, and she has no idea which way this is going to go. Whether she's going to be permitted to live and make her request known before the king, or whether the king is going to command his bodyguards to put her to death. Hadn't been before the king in 30 days, she says. And so it was a great decision that she made. But she made this decision that she was going to step forward for the Lord and for her people. And if she dies, she dies. She was willing to give her life for her people. How amazing that this is, that Esther would do that for her people. If I perish, I perish. What about that? And sometimes various Christians are called upon to take some very serious stands. And they know that if they do that they might perish. And they know that some of these countries they go to carry the gospel, that can be a very dangerous thing. And they might be locked and imprisoned in some of these countries for years and never heard tell of again. They might be made slaves of in some foreign land of Siberia or who knows where or what could happen to them. But yet they know the danger. They know what could happen. And they commit themselves to God. And they say along with Esther, if I perish, I perish. And I remember our pastor of our church many years ago, over 40 years ago, we have a children's home, still have it. And the state of South Carolina was trying to make us license a children's home. In other words, bring it under government control. And our pastor said, no, we will not do that. I think they even passed laws requiring us to do so. I remember the pastor standing before the congregation and stating why that he would not submit to that law with a children's home because it was part of the church. And he said as well, he said, they may come, they may arrest me and take me to jail over this. They may raid us and take away each of these children. He said, but nonetheless, he said, if I perish, I perish. And I'll do so trusting the Lord and doing that which is right in his sight. How many a man it is who's gone into battle over many years past in our country at war, knowing full well that he may perish in that battle that he takes the gun, steps forward into. Who knows the number of young men who have gone forth to lay their lives down that the rest of us could keep enjoying our freedom. And they too have had to say, if I perish, I perish. Some of them, no doubt, have been in direct line of enemy fire and knew what it is to have bullets whiz by their heads, people killed beside them. Well, my dear friends, no doubt they had to say within themselves, if I perish, I perish. And many times, how has it been that a fireman or a policeman has put himself in harm's way? He too, before he did that, had to say, if I perish, I perish. I will do this thing. Well, my dear friends, there's a time that you may be faced with that question. You may be faced with this. It may be a time that they may pass laws that all we who profess to know Jesus Christ would be imprisoned or hauled off to a concentration camp. We too might have to say, if I perish, I perish, but I will not deny the Lord that bought me. The day may come, and it will come during the tribulation period, that those who confess to know Jesus Christ, many of them will be beheaded for his sake. And many of those people, there will be many who will be killed because of their testimony in Jesus Christ in the time of the Great Tribulation period. They too will answer this question, if I perish, I perish. And they too will make the profession of faith in Jesus Christ. And they will not give it up, though they may face the sword or the guillotine. What about that? But Esther stood forth, ready to go before the king, ready to die if necessary for her faith and on behalf of her people. Well, my dear friends, there are many examples in history of people who have stepped forth and said, if I perish, I perish. Many of them during in the Dark Ages and the times of the Roman emperors when they had such power over the world in the Church of Rome. Many were put to death for not acknowledging the Pope as the supreme person, and were tortured, their bodies mangled, mutilated, because of their faith in Jesus Christ. And they said, if I perish, I perish, but I will not recant. Well, my friends, the Lord's able to put more within us than what's within this world. So keep that in mind.